Which would you prefer? A large number of greedy people in separate enclaves collecting or pilfering, as you will say, in the little ways they are all coming together to maybe work on their ideology to chase away a group they think is overly greedy?
No, if that person has an ideology, isn't it, he's not going to be talking of merger. So the question of ideology does not even exist amongst them.
What if there are similarities in their ideology?
There is none.
And they think coming together will help to cement those
Okay,
ideologies?
let them articulate the similarities. Then we can see that, look, there is a similarity. But you know there is none. This is, there is no similarity in any of them. There is, in fact, I don't know how to put it. That would be one of the worst disasters that might happen to Nigeria, that issue of merger. Yeah, but if a political party, look, if the CPC or the ANPP or the ACN, they decide to go out, remember, to get people to buy their ideas, and they build their parties for the purpose of capturing power, I will see that that is a better vision. Remember, it is not the tiny group up there that is going to go into the voting. And remember that 90% of those who are going to vote do not even understand the issue of merger. And they are not going to vote because they will believe that this one and that one has merged. They will only vote based on those who are on ground and are campaigning and giving them the ideas they have with respect to capturing power.
Then if they merge, that puts them in a better position to spread that message of oneness, because that will be 3 or is it 4 parties coming together?
The people down there still know ACN as ACN, CPC as CPC, ANPP as ANPP. I can bet it with anything. It will be impossible for you to remove the word CPC and you think an average northerner will be looking at the name of any other political party outside the issue of Buhari if he is not the presidential candidate.
Yeah, but this was the same thing that was said of the PDP up north.
No.
Until the CPC came and made inroads.
PDP is not up north. PDP is national. Whether you like it or not. PDP
well, you may say
cuts
so.
Across every part of this country.
I'm talking about their presence up north.
That is what I'm saying. The presence up north overwhelms every other party. You should know that.
But what if this was if this is the script that they want you all to believe? Underestimate us. And then we'll come up and pull the wool over your eye.
But you know, the PDP is not a sleeping giant. I'm sure you know that. Because the PDP is always ahead in every aspect of it. In fact, they'll only give the PDP the opportunity to capture every single part of the country with the merger. Because they are not going, the electors will say, look, so there is no more CPC, there is no more ACN, there is no more NPP. We can as well go with the giant that has been ruling us. And they'll all flock after PDP.
You're painting a very bleak picture of the political stage in Nigeria in terms of the fact that there doesn't seem to be a viable opposition for the PDP.
That is what I have. Look, what we need, PDP is more than desirous of having a viable opposition. Because if you are a leader and you have people
how can they achieve a viable opposition when it appears they always scuttle every opportunity, every chance the opposition has to gain strength?
Oh, but that is politics for you. That shows that they are thinking people who know what to do. For example, it would have been foolhardy for the ANPP to allow a staunch member of the PDP to become their chairman in the long run for whatever reasons. But that is politics for you. Don't you see they die a natural death? They died a natural death. But what I'm saying here is this. If any of these parties, they can concentrate and build their parties, preach their gospel, get followership, get people to decamp from whichever party, get new members, get the business community, the intellectuals, get people to believe in their ideology, and they stand by it, and they prove it. Even if it is in 10 years, 20 years, they are going to get power, it will be better. Even the PDP will be afraid of them in a way, because they say, look, this political party has a democratic setup that is working extremely hard to capture powers from us. You see, and the PDP will even do better. You see, because when you are being criticized and you are being given constructive criticisms and the people know that there is an alternative, you who is there, you will think of changing your ways, assuming you are not good enough.
Let's look at what happened in the beginning. You remember then the PDP, 1998, 1999, loads of politicians didn't actually come into the fray because they were still very skeptical about what will happen until they saw that it was a comfy zone. And when they came in then, we saw this alliance between the Alliance for Democracy, the AD, and the APP at that time, the All People's Party. You remembered how they brought just one candidate for the presidential election then. Is that what you're about to see in 2015?
That is a perfect example of what you would say that such alliances never worked. It doesn't.
No, for the fact that maybe perhaps they must have learned some mistakes from that particular alliance in the 90s or in the early 2000s, that they would be ready to fix that this time around.
Just not going back that time is even too far. Of recent, didn't you have some of those concepts? Did it work? It didn't. It is not today. It's not yesterday. It has been there. It is not this very. It's not now. Even
because
at that
Dr.
time,
Dogo,
it has not worked.
Because some would
historically, it has never worked.
Because some would disagree with you that at that point in time, they realized that they made some kind of silly mistakes.
50 years after?
To the extent
they are still making mistakes.
To the extent that in 2000 and in the last election, 2011 election, and even in subsequent elections that we saw, the ACN, which is an offshoot of the AD at that point in time, realized the mistake they made in that alliance, and they had to go into the grassroots and re-strategize and took back the states that were once AD states that they lost due to that costly alliance.
That was what was said during independence. That was what was said during Shagari's time, and the NPN
are they
still
saying
won.
same
and they are
now?
still saying the same thing up to date. If after 50 years, all the alliances, all the mergers, all the decisions have not worked, is it now that you think it will simply work like that? And there is nothing on ground to show that, look, there are new people who are trying to make it work.
I'll tell you what's on ground, because if you look at the southwest states, they lost out, and PDP took out almost all the states except Lagos. And we've seen what has happened now. It's like winning back their strongholds, and the ACN has perfectly done that to the extent that they added one, which is Edo State, to its own kitty, leaving out Ondo State. But in the whole mix of...
Please, I want you to correct that statement. Don't say living out Ondo State, because it appears as if they voluntarily allowed Ondo to state.
No one said
Mimiko is one of the best politicians, most refined, honest politicians that Nigeria has.
No one has said they lost at Ondo State. So I'm
Beautiful,
saying,
you are now saying
so they added Edo State. So isn't that a clue as to what will likely happen in 2015 with this alliance? Not forgetting what Chimele rightly said when CPC came out. People thought, oh, they don't have any base. Specifically, the PDP said these are nobodies. But we saw the impact in the north. And so with that alliance, with the ACN that has taken back so many states, and we can see the opposition even in the National Assembly, don't you think that the PDP will back down in some of these states?
Let me correct one thing. PDP has never underrated any political party. What the PDP does is to work harder and to overcome whatever challenges that lie ahead. For example, everybody believed that the last local government elections in Kaduna State in December, it was just December, was going to be cleared by the CPC. But out of 23 local governments, the PDP won virtually everything except one. Do you get it? I'm just giving you that. But most people believed, even in Kaduna State, and people called me and they were saying that, look, they don't believe that the local government elections should be held because CPC is going to take over everything. And I said, look, the best CPC will get is 2 local governments.